Yeah, so you got a good fight this weekend. You got David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. Should be a good one. Should be a good one. It's on Showtime pay-per-view. And, David Benavidez, he's been at 168 pretty much his whole career. Demetrius Andrade, he's just recently moved up. I think he had one other fight at 168. But other than that, he's fairly new to the division. He was a champion at 160 and then a champion at 154. So he's trying to become champion at 168. David Benavidez, he's been champion twice at 168. He got his belt taken twice, stripped. Got it stripped. First time was because he tested positive for cocaine. And second time, he missed weight on the scale for a fight. So they took his belt both of those times. And now he's trying to work his way back up and, win a belt for the third time. And so, it should be a good fight. Should be a good fight. I think that's the reason that David Benavidez chose Demetrius Andrade, because, he's just moving up. So I think he thinks he'll have the size advantage, because David Benavidez, he probably a hydrate coming into the ring to close to 190 pounds. And so and I don't think Andrade is going to be able to hydrate to that level. So I think David Benavidez think he has an advantage there because he had a chance to fight David Morrell. And, because he was calling out Canelo, David Morrell. And so when he couldn't get the Canelo fight, it was David Morrell's time. And they were in negotiations. And, everybody was thinking that fight was going to happen because we were hearing sources saying, hey, it's almost done. It's almost there. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, David Benavidez comes out and gives a lame excuse to where, he's not going to fight him. And I'm like, oh, man, don't tell me you're one of those, because I just never saw David Benavidez as the ducking type like everybody else was, ducks. And, so I was like, nah. But once that happened, and even David Morrell went to on social media and pretty much called David Benavidez scared. Called him scared, and pretty much he was had some bad things to say about him. And I just look at it as a duck too, because you were saying his or Canelo's name, and now all of a sudden his name is not big enough, and this and that. And come on, you knew that before you were saying that. Yeah, he has 10 fights, but for the most part, hey, he watched every fight he's been in there with and looked impressive. Yeah, I think he's definitely ready for the top. And so, and you pulled out the last minute. So, I didn't like that. But for the most part, hey, he chose Andrade, and Andrade seems like, hey, he's confident. He's confident he's going to win. And he sounds like he sees something in David Benavidez that, he can exploit and get the W. And, hey, we'll see. We'll see. Me personally, I think I would have to say David Benavidez wins. And I just think the size advantage. And, that's the main thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm rooting for Demetrius Andrade. One of my favorite to watch in the ring, just how free he fights. He remind me of a dude from the neighborhood that, had fights in the neighborhood, and he took that same fighting style in the neighborhood into the ring. He wound up his hands and everything, just kind of free with it. So I definitely enjoy watching him. And but yeah, David Benavidez hits hard. He sits down, he throws those hooks to the body left and right, and he pretty much, his stamina is good. He pretty much keeps his stamina good to the end of the fight. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Demetrius Andrade got to do some movement. He got to do some movement, in which he does move. He moves around, and he sets up his punches nice. I mean, he can throw nice. He can throw that left hand, his left power hand, pretty nice. So, I mean, hey, he might catch Benavidez. He might catch him in that, so we'll definitely see. And I haven't really seen Benavidez this hurt like that. I think he got dropped a few years ago. He got dropped. He ended up still winning the fight. But, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I wanted the strategy Demetrius Andrade is going to come in, to get the job done. He sounded real confident, like he got a game plan that's going to work. And so we'll definitely see. And I heard the winner is Canelo. The winner, well, WBC said they mentioned David Benavidez could get Canelo. So I don't know about Demetrius Andrade. You know, Canelo in the past has spoke like, oh, Demetrius, he fight nobody. He fight nobody. He just won't payday. And so, you know, I don't know if he says that again because, hey, if he beats David Benavidez, then, hey, how can you say that? He beat David Benavidez. You yourself, Canelo, said David Benavidez is a good fighter. So come on now. You really ain't got nothing to say on that. I mean, you can move up or down or, you know, something like that to avoid it. But, I mean, come on. He's pretty much going to be mandatory, you know, if he beats David Benavidez. So, you know, you have to get in there. So it's going to be a good fight. Look forward to seeing it. You got Jamal Charlo, who's the brother, the older, the bigger of the two twins of Jamel. So he's the bigger twin, and he's fighting David Benavidez's older brother, Jose Benavidez. And so I think Jamal is going to wash Jose Benavidez. You know, Jamal has been out for 2 years. You know, he was dealing with, I guess, some mental illness stuff. But for the most part, I think he's on a different level from Jose Benavidez. And I think he's pretty much going to wash him. But we'll see. We'll see. Benavidez, he comes in there tough. You know, he comes in there tough. But, you know, he end up, you know, nowadays just becoming a punching bag. But we'll see. We'll see how he gets in there and competes. But, you know, yeah, so you got those two fights that are on the card. You got some other good fights. So it should be a good weekend. And, yeah, I appreciate the support.